For some weird reason, on the way here, I was thinking about a newish friend of mine, and she was, how I met her, I think it's about 2 years ago possibly. I was at an event, at a poetry event, and I said to her, she had these beautiful red shoes that just fitted her feet perfectly. She had small little feet and had these really beautiful red shoes. And I said to her, oh, I love your shoes. And she goes, oh really? So I said, oh God, yeah, I love them. And she said, oh, funny enough, these shoes have been under my bed in a box for a really long time. She said for some years, and it was her new boyfriend, or boyfriend at the time. She must have been there one day clearing out under her bed. I don't know. I don't remember how they came out. But he said to her, so one of those. And she goes, oh, some shoes I've had for some years. And it's like, but I've never seen you in shoes like this. Why don't you wear these shoes? And she was like, I don't know. I don't know why I've not worn them before. I've never had the confidence to wear them really ever since I bought them. And he was like, but I love the shoes. I would love you to wear these shoes. And it so happens that the day she wore them, or soon after deciding to wear them, I saw her. My first thing was, oh my God, I love your shoes. So, my story and my reflection for the day is this, like, how many of us have a pair of red shoes sitting under our bed, do you know what I mean, tucked under our bed in the dark. And it made me think again. I did that review of what's it called, Unorthodox, the film Unorthodox. I've gone to our website, ingridmarsh.com. You see the film review there, and this lady wanted to write music, but in her community she wasn't allowed to read music, but she'd written these sheets and sheets of music, and they were where? Under her bed. So it made me ask myself, how many of us have our voice, have our awesomeness, have that little uniqueness, that special thing about us tucked under the bed, but we're too afraid to shine, or the community that we're in doesn't allow us to shine. What are the red shoes that you have, or the music that you have stuck underneath your bed? And that thing could be, the way you speak, for example. Maybe you change the way you speak because you want to fit into your community. Maybe you have a passion for art. Maybe you have some poetry that you like to write. Gosh, thinking about that, I remember this Indian lady I met once, and she said to me, oh, I think I'd read a piece out of some writing that I'd done, and she goes, oh, it's okay if you, Ingrid, you'd have a voice, And I was like, you would have a voice? You have a voice too? She was like, oh no, I don't have a voice. And she was an accountant or an auditor, something like that. And I don't know how it came about, but I managed to encourage her to write some poetry and send it to me. I don't know if she touched on the word poetry, I cannot remember, it was some years back. Anyway, she sent me this beautiful piece of poetry. But it was very sort of airy and fairy and skipping through the grass. It was very floral. The piece was incredibly floral. Now, the piece that she wrote, it was divine, but it was nothing like her stereotype. That's why I have bees in my bonnets about stereotypes and labels. It was nothing like her stereotype, but it was the most beautiful piece of work. And once again, this was her red shoes, wasn't it? That she had hidden under a bed. And I gave her permission, effectively, to express it. So it could be your sexuality that you've hidden under the bed because your community, your family doesn't allow you to express yourself in that way. So the question I'm asking is, my darling, is something we can really reflect on during these quieter times. Is it's ask the question, what are your red shoes that you have hidden under the bed? And maybe, just maybe, when you take them out, do you know what I mean? You might find that people actually find it quite bloody magnificent. Now, warning. A word of warning: when you first go to take your red shoes out, you've got to do it step by step, because if you just grab them out and put it on, the mind won't handle that. It's too much too soon. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're really crazy and it's just like, I want to put on my red shoes. I want to take these bloody shoes from under their bed, right? You might be at that mad stage now, do you know what I mean? You're still going to be careful that you don't go too crazy. But what you do it piece by piece, do you know what I mean? You start by just taking the box from underneath the bed, putting it to one side. The next day you take out one shoe. The following day you put that shoe on. The day after that you then put on the other shoe. It's step by step, little by little. Do you know what I mean, my darling? And then you put on both shoes, and then, my sweeties, you step out in your goddamn shoes. Alright? You are to shine your light, my darling. The world needs you. We are all waiting for you. We need your magic to make the world complete. Alright, my lovely, so take those red shoes from out bed. Alright, do not listen to the naysayers. Bit by bit, little by little, you stretch your comfort zone slowly. Alright, my darlings, and then you shine your freaking light. Alright, my lovely. So for more soulful tips and inspiration, my darling, don't forget to follow, subscribe, depending on where you're watching this, and most certainly log on to my website, ingridmarsh.com, for more tips and inspiration. Ciao.